Very good evening to all. I am Bhashini Chaitunga and I will be the moderator for today's session. It's a great pleasure and honor to welcome you all for today's session, Skill Up with Excel, organized by the IIT on campus, University of Peradeniya. So if I talk a bit about the IIT of the University of Peradeniya, that is the student branch chapter of the Institution of Engineering and Technology, a global network which plays an amazing role in the career development of engineers around the world. So, Skill Up with Excel is a webinar on MX Excel for engineering applications organized by the IIT on campus, University of Peradeniya. We would like to let you know that you will be provided with all the lecture materials we are going to discuss today, and we kindly request you to get ready with downloaded lecture materials. We have sent them through emails, as well as we have uploaded them in the chat box. Also, you will be given a task at the end. From the things we have discussed today, and the winner is about to get an awesome opportunity. That opportunity is a master course worth 18,000, which is offered by RH Training and Development Institution, and they have decided to hold it via online on 22nd, 3rd, and 4th of February. So stay tuned with us until the end to experience this golden opportunity. So before moving on, I would like to invite Mr. Darsha Udayanga, the President of IIT on campus, University of Peradeniya, to welcome you all to the session. Over to you.
Thank you, Bhashini. Good evening, everyone. As the President of IIT on campus, University of Peradeniya, I would like to welcome you all for our Skill Up with Excel event. And I would like to warmly welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Asoka Walpitagama. I hope you all learn a thing or two from this event and enjoy. Over to you, Bhashini.
Thank you so much. So without taking much time, with great honor, let me introduce the guest speaker today, Mr. Asoka Walpitagama, who will deliver a remarkable session. Mr. Asoka Walpitagama is a highly experienced trainer with over 22 years at DMS Group, and while at DMS, he worked as a part-time lecturer at DMS Training Center and Skill Lanka Private Limited. He joined Brandix College in 2006 as the trainee manager, where he worked for 10 years and retired in 2016 and continued working as a consultant till 2018. During his period, he has held over 1,600 training sessions and trained over 20,000 on Excel alone. At present, he is a highly renowned trainer in Sri Lanka for Microsoft Excel and has the rare experience of working with all the versions of Excel. Dear sir, it's a great privilege to have a person like you in today's session, and again, I warmly welcome you. So before moving on, I would like to remind you that there will be a Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to send your problems through the chat box. Now again, I would like to invite the guest speaker, Mr. Asoka Walpitagama, to carry on the session. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Bhashini, and thank you, Udayanga, for all that blah, blah, blah you told me about. Okay, let's see what we can do today. How many hours do we have? 2 hours, right? Bhashini, how many hours are we having?
Yes, sir.
2 hours?
Yes.
Right. I might take slightly more than that, but let's see how it goes. Okay, first thing, feel free with me. You can ask me any question. You can stop me anytime. You can ask questions in any language, right? I'll be doing it in English, but you can stop me and ask in any language. Feel free to stop me. I won't get angry. You can ask the same question so many times till you understand, right? That's one thing. Don't feel shy to ask questions. Okay. It may be the simplest thing, because in Excel, sometimes you know the advanced stuff, but not the basics. Basics are very important for anything, right? So the foundation has to be good. That's how it works. So, okay. So let's get started. The other thing I must tell you is, whatever I teach today, you will not capture 100% of it, right? If it happens, you go and see a doctor and check your brain. Certain things, you may get 80%, 100%, 50% like that. And also in Excel, there are certain things that you have to understand, right? There are certain things that if you understand, it's good. If you don't understand, still it's okay. You know what I mean? So the things that you have to understand, I will explain in detail. Okay, so let's see, let's get started. I'll share my screen. Okay, and stop me anytime. Okay, and ask questions. It's not an issue. Okay, so can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, sir, we can see.
Right. Okay. So as she said, okay, this is my career. I don't want to elaborate on that because she has already told that. I worked as a programmer in those mainframe machines in '83 with COBOL language. No Windows, nothing. Only the doors were there, right? Then joined Brandix. Then I worked there 10 years and another 2 years as a consultant. Then while there, I used to work at KDU as a part-time lecturer, and then moved on to start on my own company. And now I work for these companies: Brandix Corporate Campus, Macquarie, Academy of Finance, CMA, Australia, and the local versions, right? Then during that time, these are customers I have done customized sessions. Okay, so each of these customers I have gone and done sessions for them. Then also, let's get started. Okay, just a brief history. This is how Excel started. The first spreadsheet, not Excel started. The spreadsheet started like this. The first spreadsheet was VisiCalc. You can go to internet and download it. It had only 5 rows and 20 columns. And I'll tell you, in 1983, when I joined DMS, it was like magic for us because we were using calculators. So this was like magic for us. Then SuperCalc, I had never used it. The first one by Microsoft was called Multiplan, not Excel, right? So it was very popular. I used to work on these two, both these things. Multiplan was very much powerful than VisiCalc. And then came Lotus 123 from another company, which was very powerful, more powerful than Multiplan. But then from there onwards, Microsoft, as you know, they always take the lead. They changed the name to Excel, and then they started ending up all these versions, right? So this is how it grew. And from 2007, there's a big change. The early versions, when you save a file, you know, whenever you save something to the hard disk, you call it a file. It has a name and an extension. Name is what you give. The extension is the type of the package that is used to open that. Early versions was using .xls. From 2007 onwards, it was using .xlsx, right? Which is very powerful and which gave a lot of features. So now we have 2019, Office 365, all that. Okay, before we get into the deep waters, let's get into onboarding. What is Excel? Oh, sorry. Just read the last para. This one, the red color one, very important. The keys of becoming proficient with Excel are patience. You have to have patience, something which is lacked by the today's generation. Practice, you have to practice, and a solid foundation. So these two are up to you. I can't give you patience and practice, right? Solid foundation I'll try to give. Why we use Excel is to collect raw data, store it in a proper way, because people store it in different ways. I'll tell you how to store it. There's one proper way only that you have to store it to get the maximum use of Excel. And then process it by using sorting or calculations, filtering or pivoting, and then get your charts and reports out. Now, Excel has divided, it is divided into two parts. One for the top management. The others for young people like you and me, right? I'm 60, but I'm still young. Okay. So, because you can't expect a 70-year-old chairman of a company to go and do vlookups. They have better things to do. But they are given certain tools like pivot tables, conditional formatting, charts. Those things, they don't need to know a single formula, but they can get their reports and charts out very easily. They can do their forecasting, all that, without knowing a single formula. Right. So that's how Excel is done. But unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, the top managers, they want the subordinates to do everything and put it on their table. It shouldn't be like that. They have to do pivot tables and all that and do their reports. Okay. Chat 3PKFTP. All right, okay. I think all of you know these things, just the basics. Plus, minus, multiplication sign is this. Division, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal, not equal, right? How do you write 2 to the power 3 in Excel? Without saying 2 into 2 into 2. This is the symbol. You have to use a caret symbol, that is shift and 6. Okay. These are sometimes things that you miss. So if you want to say 5 to the power 3, that is 5 into 5 into 5, you just say equal 5 shift and 6 to the power 3. That up arrow, that's called the caret symbol. It's like a carrot leaf. You get 125. Okay. So if you say equal 4 to the power 5, that is 4 into 4 into 4 into 4 into 4. There you go, 1024. Right. So the caret symbol is shift and 6. Then Excel, when you open, what you get is a workbook. It consists of worksheets, consists of cells. I'm going through this fast because I know being engineers, you all know these things. But just to make sure that everyone is on the same platform, I want to just cover up. Right. So these are called columns this way, and these are called rows. If you take a cell has an address, a unique address for each cell, which is the column name and the row number. Okay. And also a cell can be given a name. I'm not going into detail of naming cells, but I'll just show you one. The cell value, which is very important. There are only 3 main types that you can type into a cell. Can somebody tell me one? Just unmute and speak. Tell me one type that you can type into a cell. Yeah. I can't hear. Maybe you're muted. Okay, let me move on. Please ask questions. Okay, please stop me. Don't feel shy to give wrong answers. Right? The person who gives a wrong answer will remember it the most. Text, numbers, formulas, and functions. Okay. Text means you are using alphabetical letters. Even with a number, if you use alphabetical letter, it's a text. These are numbers. Remember, basic thing that you have to know is there is nothing called dates in Excel. Date is a number. Date is the integer part of the number, and time is the decimal part of the number. I'm not going to do dates in this, but remember that date is merely a number. It's from the formatting that you make it a date and the time. Right. Then what is this one? 3E4. It looks a text, but it's a number. It looks a text, but it's a number. Okay, let me show you. I'll delete this. If I type a number, letter E, and another number, 3E5, 4 or 5, whatever. 2 numbers on both sides. In the middle, you put a letter E, capital E or simple E. E stands for exponent, right? This is called the scientific format of a number. Okay. So remember, E stands for exponent. That is 10 to the power. The meaning of this is 3 into not 105, it's 10 to the power 5. Let me make it. I'll go and superscript it. So remember, superscript, right? So this equals this. This 5 is a 5 which is here. Clear? Right. In other words, 3 and 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are same. Right. So if you look at this, let me take this, let me hide this. If you select this cell where I put 3E5 and go to Home tab, you can see the format here is scientific. But if you select this one, you can see the format is general. Right? So let me copy this again. Control C I go here and say Control V. Right? Let me take it here. Right. Now this one, the scientific thing, if I make it general, see what happens. It becomes whatever that number. And this general thing, what the number that I entered in general format, if I make it scientific, go down, it becomes 3, 5. Now you know what it is, right? So if you find a number with all these letter E and all that, remember that's a scientific format of a number. Any number can be given in scientific format, right? So why it is important is sometimes when we type huge numbers like this, it automatically puts into scientific format, right? So what you have to do is, now I type this in general format. I type 145000, that is general format. If I put a letter E in the middle, then it's scientific format. But since it's in general format, there you are. No point in changing it back to general. Make it number. When you put the number only, you'll get the real number of that. Right? So don't get confused if you see numbers with those things. Right. Let's move on. Any questions you can ask me. And I told you about naming cells. Remember, that is also important. Look at this. I'll do it fast. Let's say I have numbers here. 50, 45. Right. I select this cell. Where do I get the name? Here. I go there. This is a shortcut of naming a cell. There's a correct way, but this is a shortcut. I go and put a USA and press enter. I go to this number and then press UK and press enter. You can put your name even. I can say Asoka or Bashini or whatever, right? And press the enter key. Now, in my formula, I can say equal US. There you are. The moment you type US, you can see USA. Either double click or type the whole thing. It will refer to that cell. Plus UK or into UK. Then you get the answer, right? That's how you give a name. So why I am telling this is sometimes you might see odd formula with all these odd names. So what you have to do then is, if you see a formula like that, you have to know what those values are. Go to name manager. Go to formulas and say name manager. You can see all the names used in the. This is the correct way of naming a cell is from here. You can say new and then give a name, right? Okay. So if you select this, you can see the value is 45. It refers to this cell, and the scope means where you can use it, this name. Where you can use this name. I can use it in the whole workbook. If you want, you can restrict that, right? I'm not going to detail in this. So here we are, sheet 1, $C, $8 is named as UK. Right. So if you want to delete it, remember when you delete the name, this formula will come with error, right? To delete anyway, you have to go to name manager. You can't delete from here, right? You can select this cell, select this, press the delete key and enter, it won't delete. And also for this one, if I type another name, China, and press enter, it will take both names. It will take both names. Right? You put another name and press enter, it will take all three names. So if you want to delete or rename, then you have to go here and then you can say delete. Right? Say okay, delete, okay, delete, say okay, say close. Now you can see it comes with error because the names are not there. Right. So let's move on. Any questions? Please unmute and ask. So formulas and functions always start with the equal sign. If you want, you can start with the plus or minus, right? And you can use numbers, cell addresses with numbers, formulas, a combination of anything. What's the difference between formula and functions? Formulas are what we create. Functions are given by Excel, like vlookup, hlookup, xlookup. If all these functions are sum, average, max, min, all these are functions. Some tips. When a value is entered to a cell, if it is left aligned, then it's a text. If it goes to the right side, then it's a number. As you enter, later you can align it. You can make it center or align whatever. But when you enter, if it goes to the left, it's a text. If it goes to the right, it's a number. Let me go to a new sheet. Now look at this. I enter number 44, it goes to the right side. Let me widen this column. I enter a date. Let me put a date like this. 1, 2, 22. It's a number, it goes to the right side. Let me put 13 to 22. Now it's a text. Excel doesn't understand this. It's a text. I put $5. Text. If I put $5, it's a number. Right? Numbers means you can do calculations. Right? I put 5%. There you go. It's a number. I put 3E4. It's a number. That's a scientific format. This is a percentage format. This is a currency format. Like that, it goes on. If I select this, you can see now Excel, these are the default formats that Excel has. General, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, all these things. Fraction, scientific, and text. If you select this, if you enter something in any of those formats, it will automatically take it into that. Here it has taken to general. This one taken to date. This one it doesn't understand. If you don't understand, it puts to general. General, can't understand. $5 is currency. Percentage, scientific, right? So like that it works. Now while I'm on these dates, remember with dates you get US format and the UK format. US format you enter the first you enter the month and then the date and then the year. The UK format you enter the date, month and year. Remember it's a huge problem in the corporate world. People don't know the date format. They enter it in the, mostly they enter in the UK format. So this type of dates, there cannot be a month called 13. That's why it can't understand this as a date. It goes to the left side. It's a text. So remember, you can display the date in any format by formatting. Formatting dates is very powerful. You can do any formatting. But when you enter the date, you have to enter it in the proper format. So if you're not sure how your computer is configured to the US or the UK, best is whenever you enter a date, you enter in the ISO format. If you want to say 13 February, you put 13-FEB22. You're safe. This will work in USA, UK, Afghanistan, or anywhere. Right? Any country it will work. Because this is a standard format. Put the month in the first 3 letters. Don't put 4 letters. First 3 letters. Later, you can change the format to any formatting you want. I'll just right click this and go to format cells and just show you. Go to number format here, custom. Let's say you want to show the year first. You can put YY. Can you see the sample? Look at the sample here. Again, another YY. Then you want to show the month. You put M. 3 M's will give the short form. 4 M's will give the full name. Then you want to put the date. I leave a space, I put 3 Ds. What happens? It will tell you whether it's Saturday or Sunday. Can you see? 22nd February 13, Sunday. So date formatting is another 2-hour session. So I'm not going to touch it, right? Any date can be formatted in any way. Not only if you enter like this, even this date, this is a valid date. I can go to format cells. And here I can say custom. And you put first the month, M, full name of the month, right? Then say slash, year, then the date, then the full name of the day, 4 Ds, it will say Sunday. So there you go. It's a valid date. You can do calculations with it. So formatting is a separate subject. I'm not going to do that, but just for you to know. Enter the date in ISO format if you're not sure. Yeah, date is a running serial number in Excel which starts from January 1st, which is 1. Date is the integer part and time is a decimal part, right? So Excel has a nice function called equal today. Equal today will give you the current system date. 2/12/2022, February 12th. If I say equal now, open and close bracket, will give the current date and the time, right? So this is, I'll put apostrophe and say equal today. Now tomorrow it will give tomorrow's date. This is, I'll put apostrophe to make it a text, right? Equal now. You can try this. Now let me put my birthday here. I'll put my birthday. I'm going to type it in the ISO format. Anyway, any format you want. First the month, then November, then the date, then the year, 61. I told date is a running serial number starting from 1st January 1900, which is 1. If I want to find out how many days I have lived up to today, what do? I'll say equal today. You can try this. You put your birthday either in ISO format or first the month. I'll say today minus my date of birth. It will give you the number of days that you have lived. But the problem is when you press enter, it comes with another date. Why? Because date is a number. So people get confused. They think the answer is wrong. No, the answer is correct. The format is wrong. So what you have to do? Go here and make it general format. I live for 21,997 Saturday. So today is Saturday, no? Sunday, Monday. Next Tuesday, it will be 22,000 days old. Right? Try that. After 15, 20,000, you can see, white flags and all that. So be careful. Right? So let's see. Dates work like that. If a filter is applied anywhere in a worksheet, the row numbers will be in blue color. I'll show that when I have some data. If the row numbers are blue in your worksheet, you're not seeing all the data. You're not seeing all the data. Some data is missing. You have applied a filter, right? Functions such as sum, average, max will not work with filtered data. When you filter the data, if you have a total using sum or average or max mean like that, the answers are wrong. You have to use subtotal functions. There's a function called subtotal. So what you can do is never use sum. Always use the sum with the subtotal. Use the average with the subtotal, right? What is that? If a value is entered to a cell in a format which Excel has, I showed that to you, it will be assigned to that format. Otherwise, it will be assigned to general. By default, numbers and text are in general format. Right? Okay, up to there, are you okay? Am I going too fast? Can somebody tell me? Or was it just stuff that you all knew? Boring? I need a feedback, please.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So in the last slide, that third point is not clear. That subtotals, what we need to use the fourth point.
Right. Thank you. Can you open the sample file? I'll just explain. Yeah, please ask questions. Otherwise, I'll fall asleep. Let me see. Open. I sent you some sample files. So in that, which it is a bit slow. Is there a sample file called sales data? Should I put a shortcut on this? Okay. Training. Private training. Right. These are the sample files that I have sent you. Let me take to see custom list, text to column, match some. I won't be using all these things anyway. hlookup, vlookup, okay. Let's take this one. If function salary 3B, just open 3B. If function salary. Right. This is a sample file. If function salary. Now, I'll insert 2 more rows. So if you want to insert 2 rows, you select 2 rows. Otherwise, one by one, you have to insert and say insert. Right. Here, I'm going to say sum subtotal. Right. I'll bring it here. Right. I will say equal sum, open bracket, and select all these things. Close the bracket. You get the total 575,000. Right. Subtotal works like this. With subtotal, you can use average, max, mean, sum, anything. Not anything, there are limited things, right? So you type subtotal. You have to give a parameter. What are you going to use subtotal with? I'm going to use it with sum. Sum is number 9. So either double click or type 9. Then comma, always look at the help here when you're using a formula. After the function number, there's a comma. So the moment you put the comma, you will give the reference. I'll give the reference like here, from here to here. You get the same answer, right? You got the same answer. Now I'm going to apply a filter here, right? I want to select a cell inside this, click on data and say filter. You can see the top row will get the filters. I'm going to filter it by department. So click on the arrow here. These are the departments you have. I'm going to say select all, remove that. I want to select, let's say, engineering, only engineering. So, can you see the difference between the sum and the subtotal? Sum value is wrong. It's still the same value. But the subtotal, you can see, how to check it? Select these three and check at the bottom here. At the bottom in your taskbar, you get the total here. If you want to do a quick calculation, don't go to say plus, just type it, select it and see the answer here. You don't need to put sum. The answer is there. That's 175,000. Right? I told you when you filter, the row numbers are blue. Can you see the row numbers are blue? Right? I told you, I'll show you here, the row numbers are blue. If there's a filter applied, that means you're not seeing everything. So how to remove the filter? You just go and click on it again. Filters are removed. Is that clear? The person who
Yes,
asked,
sir.
right.
Yes, sir. Now I got it. Thank you.
Cell addressing using the $ is something that you have to know. I assume all of you know that. This is something that you have to know. If you want to, there are certain things that you have to know, others good to know, but this is something you have to know. I'm not going into detail, but I'll just explain. The cell address can be written in, if you take A1, it can be A1, $A1, $A1, $A, $1. Now this $ is nothing to do with the currency or the US dollar. It's just a symbol to say which part of the cell address is fixed. Which part? There are two parts, no? Column name and the row number. If you want to fix a row number, you put the $ in front of the row number, right? If you want to fix a column name, you put the $ in front of the column name. Look at this, cell address C3, column name and row number. This type of cell address, C3 or A1 or B1 without any $, you call it a relative cell address. Relative means sapeksha, not the nada, right? Sapeksha. Right. Then if you put a $ in front of C, I have fixed a C. This is called mixed cell addressing. Here I have fixed a row number. Here I have fixed a column name. Right. And this is called absolute cell addressing, where I have fixed both. I have fixed both. Right. Now, this one, I don't want you all to do it. I'll do it and show you because it's a basic thing. I don't have time for the others if I try to do these things with you. Sample files. I hope I have given that sample file. It's not there. So I will just do a small exercise and show you. Let me go to a new sheet and let me type some numbers here. I'll say 1 to 5, right? If I want to get the series of 3 by using this set of numbers, let me color these numbers. By using this set of numbers, I want to get the series of 3 here. What do? I'll say equal this cell. You click on the cell. There is B3 into 3. Into is this 3. You get the answer. Then I don't type it again here. How to copy it? Either you drag it or double click on this. Not the 4 arrows, not the white cross, the black cross at this point. Double click. Right. You get the answer. Right. The same set of numbers, I'm going to copy it the other way. How do you copy it? Right click and say copy or Control C. I'll put it here. Right click and say transpose. Paste options, transpose. it will change the direction by 90 degrees. If it is horizontal, it will become vertical. If it is vertical, it will become horizontal, right? Okay. Now for this one, also I'm going to use these numbers and do the same thing to get the series of 3. I'm going to say equal this cell into 3. I get the answer. That you can't double click, you have to drag it. Double click works only vertically. Right. Yeah, I got it. Now let's go to formulas and say show formula and see what has happened. The moment I drag this down, the row number automatically changes of the cell address. Can you see? B3 has become B4, B5, B6, B7. But the column name is same. Why? Because it's the same column I'm copying it. I'm copying it in the same column. The row is jumping from 1 to 1. Therefore, the row number changes, but the column is the same. But in this case, it's the other way around. I'm jumping from column to column, but it's in the same row. So the row number won't change. Row number is 10, 10, 10, 10. Column jumps from B, C, D, E. That is called relative cell address. Right? Relative to the direction that you drag it. Very useful. I'll click this again so you get the answers. Now, let's say I want to put a value here 3 and then I want to get the series by using that value. So let me color that also. So these are the values I'm going to consider, right? Then how will I write it? Equal, again this cell. Earlier it was into 3, now it's into this A1. I press enter, copy it down. First one got the answer, but all the others are 0. What is the reason? Because when you copy it down, the A1 has become A2. What is A2? Nothing. A3, nothing. A4, nothing. So only the first one will get the answer. Relative cell addressing. Even in this one, the row number is changing because you are copying it down. So therefore, and here if I use the same thing, equal this cell into this. First one will get the answer, but all the others will be 0. Why? Show formula, you can see this has become B1. What is B1? Nothing. C1? Nothing. Nothing. So to get the answer, either you have to put 3, 3, 3, 3 here or 3, 3, 3, 3 here. But instead of that, what we are going to do is, I'm going to tell Excel, look here, let this be relative, but this one I want to fix. Which part of the cell you want to fix? The row number. Why? It's a row number that jumps from one to the other. So I put a $sign here. You can either type the $sign or there's a shortcut, function key 4, F4. In new machines, if the F4 doesn't work, you have to press the F4 key with the Fn key, right? Some machines, F4 will not work. You have to press it with the Fn key, right? $1, and now I copy it down. Right, now let's see what has happened. The $, because of the $sign, A1 is kept as A1. Here it changed from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's kept as A1. Therefore, everything is getting multiplied by these two, the blue box and the red box. Right. Here also, it's the same thing. Equal this cell into this cell. Here I have to put the $sign in front of A. Why? It's a column name that is changing. Now if I copy it this way, you can see it's multiplied, everything multiplied by $A1, 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 $A1. Let's see whether you got the answer 6. So here the last line is correct. I got the answers. Is that clear? Very important to know. Without this, you can't do Excel. Now, most of the people, when you want to fix, you put the $sign in front of both. I need an answer from you. Will it work if I say equal this into this? Put the $sign in front of both. You can put it on the chat, the answer, yes or no. Will it work or no? Without trying it, think and tell me. I'll make it a bit easy. Okay, let's say I'll take somebody's name. Can I have somebody's name, please? What are the people who are here? Oshadi. Okay. Oshadi, I'm going to tell you to cut a piece of your ear. So you take a knife and cut the piece of ear and the nose both. Is your ear cut? Oshadi, yes or no?
Can you repeat it again, sir?
Yeah, I'm going to tell Oshadi to cut a piece of your ear. So you cut the ear. Or let's say pierce a ear. Pierce it. In addition, you cut the nose also. Or pierce the nose also. Now, is your ear pierced or cut?
Yes.
Yes. So it's the same principle that applies. The dollar sign, lot of people, they put it there. It will work, but in vain. The problem is you have cut the ear, but in vain you have cut the nose also. Right? So no need to do that. Okay. Here, it will work. You get the answer. But remember, sometimes it will not work. There are instances, especially when you are using vlookup, where when you copy it this way, it has to change, but this way it should be constant. So then it won't. So therefore, when you put the dollar sign, think what you need and then do it. Don't blindly go and put dollar sign for both. Most of the time it works depending on the situation. So here we are. C3 will become D3, E3, F3, C4, 5, 6. If I put the dollar sign in front of, you can compare these. Right. Yeah, well, let's move on. I hope you understand this. Maybe you all are knowing this also, but it's something that you have to know. Right. And $C3, absolute cell address will be same whichever you copy. Working with formulas and functions. I'm not going to do sum, average, max, min, count, and count A. Count A means count text and numbers. Count will count only numbers. Remember, count will count only the numbers in that area. Count A will count everything. Right? Let's do the if function. If logical function. This is something, again, you have to know. Very useful. Every function has a syntax. The if function syntax is logical test, value if true, value if false. And you should know how to read the syntax. If you have any part of the function within square brackets, these two are within square brackets. That means it's optional. You can use this function without those two, but this you have to have. Right? Not that you have to put within square brackets. Square brackets in a syntax means it's optional. So here there are three parts: the logical test, value if true, and value if false. Okay. So these are the two outputs or the two outcomes which will come depending on this test or depending on the condition that we are checking. The two outcomes can be either a label. Let's say if the marks are more than 50, then pass, otherwise fail. That's a label. Pass and fail are labels. If it's a label, it has to be within double quotes, not two single quotes, double quotes. Right? It could be a value. We can say if you're, let's say we are going to give a discount, a flat discount of 500 rupees for everything that you purchased, like in Daras, like everything that you purchased for over 5,000. So if the invoice value is greater than 5,000, that is the logical test. Then value if true is 500, simply the value, otherwise 0. Value if false is 0. So you check the condition, the logical test. If this is true, that comes first. The true function is the first one, false one is the next one. It could be a formula. Let's say if your salary is more than 200,000, 10% into salary, that's a formula. That's a tax. Otherwise, 0 tax. So you're using a value and a formula. Or it could be a function. If the sales is more than 1 million, you give average of sales into 5%. That is a commission. Otherwise, just 1,000 rupees or whatever, or 0. Like that, you can have anything as outputs. It could be a cell address. You can say, if the salary is more than 50,000, then A1, otherwise B1. So whatever the value in A1 or B1 will be displayed accordingly. Right? That's how it works. Let's say, can you open module 3B if exam results? 3B if exam results. 3B if exam results. Oh, sorry, exam results is not there. Can you open module 3B? If and if s. If and if s. If and if s. 3B, if and if s. Let's do it together. Question 1. Fill the sales group code column by considering the table below. Kids wear, no, let's. Commission is 10%. No. Okay, let's say. So I remember this now. Fill the sales group code by considering the table below. Right. Now this is not a simple one. Huh? This was if s. Keep this. Open the other one. Keep this. I'll do the if s also with this one. Let's open the other one. That's a sample file. Another if function. Salary. 3B if function salary. I haven't included the exam result. That's okay. If function salary. Right. Look at the question. Make the minimum salary of all employees to 50,000 on new salary column. The moment you get the if function, this is how you have to do it. The easiest way, if you're not familiar with it, write down what you have to do by using these 3 words in simple English. Simple English. I'll merge these two. These are the 3 words that you have to remember. If, then, else. In simple English, you write down what you have to do. That's all. Right. Make the minimum salary of all employees to 50,000 on new. So that means what I've got to do? In simple English, don't forget about Excel. If basic salary is less than 50,000, that is the condition. Then what do you want to do? Make it 50,000. Otherwise, what do you want to do? Keep the same salary. I'll put cell. Keep the same cell. I'm sure anybody can write this. If you just think, study the question properly. If you analyze the question properly, anybody can write this by using these 3 words. That's now it's done. So this is your logical test. This is your value if true. This is your value if false. So here we are. I go there and I'm going to say equal if open bracket. The moment you open bracket, you get the syntax at the bottom. Logical test is bold. That means you have to enter that. What is your logical test? Minimum salary is, sorry, basic salary, that is this cell, is less than 50,000. That is your, then comma. Now it asks for the value if true. Then what do you want to put? 50,000. Otherwise, what do you want to do? Same salary. Where do you get the original salary is here, this cell. Close the bracket. If F5 is less than 50,000, then 50,000. Otherwise, F5. F5 means your basic salary, current salary. You can see it got changed 50,000. When I copy it down, these ones didn't change, same. But from here onwards, these 3 changed. This one also didn't change. So if I say like this, if basic salary is greater than 50,000, then keep the same cell. Otherwise, else make it 50,000. The true and false will change depending on the condition, right? So that is the if function. Right. Now, if I move on to, there's a new function called ifs. It is available in Office 365. 2019 also will have it. Right. The sales group code with the if function also you can use there's a thing called nested if, where you put the if function within the function within the function. Like that, you can go up to 124 times or something like that. But the if else is very easy. What the question is, fill the sales group code column by considering the table value. If it is kids wear, the group code is KW. If it is textiles, TX. If it is ladies wear, LW. This can be done with the vlookup, right? But with the if you're going to do it, equal IFS open bracket. Logical test 1. Whether this cell is equal to this. Now I'm going to copy this down. So when I copy this down, C3 will become C4. That is okay. H5 will become H6. Then I'm missing this one. So this has to be fixed. H$5. Right? It's where value if true. Then it's this one. KW. That again you have to fix. You can put the $ sign for both even, no problem. Logical test 2. But this cell equals textiles. Again, you have to fix. Then it's TX. Fix. Otherwise, again, you have to check. If this cell sorry, no if. There's no if, sorry. I'm still used to the whole format. C3 equals this. Remember to put the $ sign. Logical test 3, value if true, then it should be this. Now the last one, here in this case, you have to check the last one also. Other one is C3 equals this one, then this. So genswear is GW, kidswear is KW. These two you don't need, no? Right. Textile is TX, ladies wear is LW, KW, kidswear, like that. Right. So the moment you change this into ladies wear, it will become LW, right? So the if function is a later one. The same thing if you want to do with the if function. If you don't have the ifs, then you have to use a nested if, right? I'll take only 2. Take only these 2 and do it. Other will take time. Okay. Only for these 2 now. You can see these 2. Oh, sorry, wait. I'll consider only these 2. I'll remove these. Kids wear and textile, ladies wear, gents wear, right? I'll remove these 2, these things, and then do it only for the commission. Remove this. I'll just do it with the if function. If you don't have if, then you have to say if open bracket, logical test. If this equals, I'm going, kids wear. Then value if true, KW. Otherwise, can I say it's something else? No, I have to check again. That is, you are putting the if function again. Then again, you say if open bracket. Now you can see the bracket is open in red color. This one equals let's say genswear. Then this. Otherwise, you don't have to check. The false condition, we can say, is there a ladies wear? No, we will put one ladies wear, right? Otherwise, it's automatically assigned as ladies wear. So you have to close the 2 brackets. Right? Now see, if I copy it down, GW, you get the same answer. If I put ladies wear here, you get LW. That also works. Okay, that also works. The function within if function, again within like that. So if you have two outputs, you need only one if function. If you have three outputs, you need two if functions. Always the number of outputs minus one. Number of outputs minus one. That's a function. Any questions? Is it clear? If, then otherwise or else, right? Look at this one. We didn't have this example. Look at this one. If basic salary is less than minimum salary, then minimum salary, else basic salary. That's how it goes, right? So here we are. F5 less than D2, then F5 D2. But this won't work. Why? Because I haven't put the dollar sign. So this is wrong. To make it clear, you have to put $2, $2. If I'm using without putting the 50,000, if I'm using that value. Right. Custom lists and fill handle options, I will do it later. It was not there if I have time because we are running out of time. Data validation also not in the scope. I thought I'll have it if I have time. Text to column is there, very useful. Can you open module 8A? Module 8A. Can you open module 8A? Right, open module 8A. Oh, there are some chats here. Can you explain count A functions? Okay, my God. Sorry, when I have a materials for hands-on session, right? Okay, Manoj, no, yes. Yes. Can you explain count A function? Okay, materials for hands-on session, right? Count A function, I'll explain, don't worry. Open module 8A, text to column. Very useful tool. Text to column module 8A. Right? Module 8A, text to column. The exercise is given here. I'll just show you how it works. If I want to separate this, now this is in one cell, into 3 columns, there are different ways you can do it. You can use a len function, the find function, left, right, mid, and then do it. But it takes a long time. Text to column will also allow you to separate by a particular symbol. Now here, what is the separator or the delimiter? We call it the delimiter. Delimiter is a name given for any symbol, any character that is used to separate something. So the common delimiters are the slash, dash, comma, semicolon, space, those things. At sign to separate the domain from your name. In the email address is at sign, right? Select these things, right? Then select it and go to data, click on data and set text to column. Text to column. Data and text to column. It asks whether it's delimited or fixed width. Delimited means it's separated by a delimiter, right? Fixed width means always the first, let's say if the title is all Mr. and the first name is all 5 characters, then it's fixed width. Last name is 10 characters, everything. Sometimes you get codes like that, fixed width. First 2 digits is the supplier code, then you put a dash, then you get the item code, you put a slash, you get a serial number. So it's fixed width. But this you can't do with fixed width because you get Mr., Mrs. and Miss everyone. So I have to say delimited. Say next. What is the delimiter? Not the tab, remove it. It's a space. So click on the space. Can you see at the bottom, it has already separated, right? you can just say finish. But if you finish it, it will come on top of that. Let me show that. That's all. But I need it shifted to the other cells. So I'll undo it. Control Z. Do it again. You can go a step further. I'll say next. Now the delimiter is space. I'll say next again without finishing. Then you can say the destination. Delete this. And I want starting from here. That is the destination. Starting from there. If you don't want to, if you want to ignore any of these, that also can be done. You can select this column and you can say do not import. So only the title and the last name will come there. Right? So I'm not going to say that. I'll just say finish. Now you can see it came like that. Right. Let's do this one. Can I use delimited for this or fix it for this? No. I want to separate with the slash. Before the slash and after the slash. Because it's different numbers. 2 digits slash, 3 digits slash. So you can't do with the fix it. Here go the same way. Text to column. Next. What is the delimiter now? Slash. Slash is not here. So you put other. And then type the slash. So virtually you can do anything. Anything as a separator or the delimiter. Right. So you can other and you can type the, you can see it's already separated. Right. I'll say next. Put the destination here to this one and say finish. Right. Is there any problem in the output? Can somebody tell me? Is it okay? Or any issue? Is the output correct? Something wrong. I'll tell you something. When I started teaching this sometime back, when I just joined Brandix only, I started teaching this. Till then, I also didn't know this. I had the same set of data. After the second or third session, I realized that the zeros are missing. These 3 zeros are missing here. So I didn't know how to get the zeros there. So what did I do? I removed all the ones which had leading zeros and then started teaching. That's the only way out. I didn't know how to get it. Then I went to the internet and got it. Now I have put it. So this is how you get the zeros. Why is it? If I type 0, 0, 1, 2, you will get only 12. That is the problem. You get only 12. The leading zeros are taken off automatically. So if you want to have the leading zeros, then you make it a text and do it. So put an apostrophe and then 0, 0, 1, 2. Then it will be number as a text on the left side. That is what this green color thing says here. Number stored as text, then formatted as text. Right. If you want, you can convert to number. But when you convert to number, what happens? The leading zeros will go. That's why when you type, in Excel, when you put the telephone number, if you put 077, that's my telephone number. The leading zero goes out. So what? Sorry, if I just put it, if I just put 07734277225, the leading zero goes out. It's a number. But if you put with an apostrophe here, then it remains. So then what should I do is, I should make this a text and then do it. So let me delete this and redo it. This is how we do it. Select this. Data text to column. Delimited, yes. Slash other, okay. Go to next. You have to go to the next one. Give the destination. Maybe here. Here, this one, can you see here general? It's very, you can't notice it here. Yeah? This is also general, this is also general. So in general format, the leading zeros are suppressed or hidden. So what you have to do is select this part, not this one, and make it text from here. And then say finish. Now you can see it with the leading zero, but converted as a text. Clear? Now this you can do it fix with or delimiter. Let's do this also fast. Text to column. Let me use the other option, the fix it. and say next. Read these three carefully, otherwise you will never read it. To create a break line, click on the desired position. So I want a break line here and another one here. 2 break lines. Right? I'll say next if you want to go to a new destination. Put the destination here. Let's say I'll just say finish. Yeah. But I don't need this one. So you can, once it comes, you can delete it. But also you can do it. I'll undo it. Whiten this column a bit. Let me do it again, text to column. Now, no one is complaining that I'm going too fast, right? But I'm sure you can catch up. The recording is there. You can go through the recording. We have to do as much as possible. I don't go this fast normally when I do a lecture. I go to next and I put it here. Okay, destination. That's where I need the output. Sorry, fix it. I had to fix it. Come on. Fix it. Next. Next. I'll put the destination here. Sorry, when I had to put the lines here, right? Right. The 2 lines, the breakpoints are here. If you double click on it, it will go off. You click again, it will come. And then say next. And this part I don't want imported. So what do? I select this one. This one I need. This one I don't want. I select that and say do not import and say finish. Give the destination also here and say finish. Like this. With so many destinations. Right? So this one I'll say do not import, the highlighted one. Yeah, you don't get the slash. The most important thing is text to column is the dates. Look at these dates. All wrong dates. It's on the left side. If I go to home, go here and say long date, it will not format it. But it's a wrong date. You can't have a 20 as a date, as a month. Now, especially whenever you get import data from systems like SAP and MoveX or whatever, Oracle, most of the times the dates are in different formats. You have to take a lot of trouble in converting it into different formats, right? So with this, you can do it very easily. Select the dates, click on data, text to column. Don't do anything. Simply go to next and next again. Come to the last screen. If you want, you put the destination here. And here, what do you have? What is the format here? Year, month, and day. Year, month, day. Right? It has to be here the year. The day is the last one. Last 2 is the day. 24, 25 is the day. This is a month. So from here you select YMD, year, month, day. And then say finish. That's all. Can you see it got converted? Now this one, can I go to home tab and go to a long date and see whether it formats? Yes, it formats. See how fast you can do it. It's a huge problem with a lot of companies who are using these ERPs and all that. Dates are in different formats. So they struggle, try to get the dates in the correct. This is very easy, right? Okay. Likewise, if you want to combine, you can have these two. Maybe you can try this on your own. Right? Concatenate function. I'll just do one equal on the opposite of that. Concatenate equal. I just type one and then double click on this faster. Concatenate this, comma. If I say this, both will be together. So I put a double quote, space, double quote, and then a comma. And then this one. Comma, double quote, space, double quote, comma. Why the double quote, space, double quote? To have a space in between, otherwise it will be together. This, comma, double quote, space, double quote, comma, separated by commas. That. Can you see? Now it's the opposite of that. The same thing can be done with the n%. Use the n%. That also I'll just do without the spaces. Make it fast. And this you can see it's all together. So I'll put the space, double quote, space, double quote. All together. Because this one I put a space, this one I didn't. So here what I do is after the n, you put a double quote, space, double quote, and another n. Like that you can put everything. Just the first one I did. Right. Let's switch that. Move on. That's how we go. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Subtotal function, I did that. Sum if, very important. Can you open module 9D? Allows to adapt values in a selected range of data that meets a specific criteria. If you want to do systems using Excel, inventory system or a payroll system, sum if you have to know, right? The portion of the function determines what data meets a specific criteria. The sum part does addition. Then there's a one called sum if s. The sum if s function extends the usefulness of the sum if function by allowing you to specify up to 127 criteria and then add up. Each cell in the sum range argument is summed only if all the other specific criteria are true in that cell. That is obvious. No? Example, I want to find out the sales done by Gamini for North on Anchor. 3 criteria. Gamini, the salesperson has to be Gamini, the zone has to be North, the product has to be Anchor. When all 3 are satisfied only, it will get added. It will get added only when all 3 are satisfied. Right? If the product is not Anchor, then it won't get added. So it has to be like that. Right? This is the sum if syntax. Sum range is optional. You might wonder why. I'll tell you why. What is sum range? The actual cells to add. When you specify the range, the sum range, those cells will be added. So obviously sum range has to be a number. Can't be a text. Right? Criteria could be a number or an expression or a cell reference or a text or a function that defines which cells are to be added. The condition. In other words, that's a criteria or the condition. Salary is more than 50,000, get the total of salaries more than 50,000. Get the total of sales done for advance. Or get the total of sales done during this period. See how important this is? Range means we define a criteria. The cells that are referred to the criteria, which range is referred by the criteria. If I say I want to add up all the invoice values of advance, the sum range is invoice value. Criteria is advance. Then range is what? Customer. That is where you get advance. This range is dependent on the criteria. Right. Let me show you an example. If the sum range is omitted, because sum range is optional, then it takes this range as a sum range and criteria range both. So there are two things. One is a sum range, that is where you add up. Other one is a criteria range. This range is actually the criteria range. Other one is a criteria. Very easy. Look at this. Here I have a set of data. This is the syntax. Question 1. Sum all quantities less than 100. Can somebody tell me what is the sum range? What is the sum range? Can somebody speak up? What do you want to sum? Quantity. Why? Sum all quantities. Right? What is the criteria? Quantity less than 100. Criteria is it has to be the quantities which are less than 100, not everything. Only the ones which are less than 100. So how, by looking at which column, can you find out whether the quantity is less than 100? Again, by looking at the quantity only. You can't look at the outlet and see whether it is less than 100. This will give the outlets, this will give the codes. So here is a special case where the criteria range and the sum range both are equal. Range is quantity. That is the criteria range. Criteria is quantity less than 100. How can you check whether the quantity is less than 100? By going through this. So that is called the range. And what is your sum range? Again, quantity. So here, this is all you need. You have to put within double quotes. Okay. I'll take another one. If you want, you can put the less than 100 in two cells like this. So that here you can make it less than, you can put it 200, 300. When you change that, automatically the answer will come. Otherwise, every time you have to write the formula. No? So without that, you can make it work from outside, remote controlling. So you can make it greater than, you can make it 200, less than 500, like that. You just change the value here. Automatically, the value will answer will change. How to do that? So this is the one criteria. I have broken it into two parts, the number and the operator. I give it in two different cells. Then you do it like that. G3 and H3, I just did the AND function, AND% function, where it combines. So when I say G3 and H3, it will get this less than 100 together. This will come by combining these two. That is also possible. So remember, this is how you develop your formula. Do the basic one, then if you want to make it more professional, you can have it here. So anybody can put 200 here, then you get the total of 200, right? We'll do it and I'll do it and show you, right? So these will get added, right? Look at this. Sum all quantities are abundance. Now what is the sum range? Quantity. Sum all quantities. The question itself tells what the sum range is. Criteria is abundance. How can I find criteria? By checking which column? Customer. So your criteria range is customer, sum range is quantity, criteria is abundance. Range is customer. That is criteria range. There you go. Criteria is abundance. Sum range is quantity. Sum D6 to D26. That is the criteria range. Blue color. Abundance within double quotes. You can put a cell address and refer it. G. Sum range is this. Or you can say M12. M12 you can't see here. So M12, if I type abundance, it will give the total of abundance. If I type keys, it will give the total of keys. Right? Another one. Total value of invoices before 1st May. Range is date invoice. Why? How can you check whether it's before 1st May? By looking at the date invoice. So that is your range. What is your criteria? Date invoice less than 1st May. Sum range is value now, not the quantity value. Right? Total value now. So that's your sum range. C6 to C26, that is the date, that is your criteria range. Within double quotes, you put less than 1st May 20. Remember, within double quotes only you put it. And this is your sum range value. Or else you can put less than within double quotes and C3. What is C3? This date. Or even the less than you can put in a cell and put that cell address like that you can combine. So I'm not going to put all the options, but you can try that. With the %, you can combine this. And today, less than and today. So less than today, everything will be total. Look at this sum if S. Sum if S is very straightforward. First, you have to go in the sum range. After that, criteria range 1, criteria 1, criteria range 2, criteria 2. Right? Total value of anchor sold by Amal in Gaul district. 3 criteria. It has to be anchor, it has to be by Amal, it has to be in Gaul district. Right? So here we are. Value first, give the sum range. Here, sum range first. Sum range is the value. Done. Then criteria range 1. Product. B6 to B14. What is A3? A3 is anchor. This is a product. No order. You can put it in any order you want. You can first check for the sales rep and then put the district or the product, whatever. Because all three has to match for it to calculate. Second one is sales rep, sold by Amal. Third one is district. So here are the three. C3 is this district. B3 is Amal. A3 is anchor. Count of all. The other one is count if. I'll do that also. Count if is very straightforward. Counting, you don't have two variations. Count all quantities less than 100. Count if G6 to G26 less than 100 straight away. Yes, counting means you're counting how number of times. So it can be done for text and numbers both. Right. Count all advance invoices. What is the range? Customer. From customer only I can find out whether it's advance or not. Criteria is advance. So here we have D6 to D6 advance. Right. I hope we have time for, my God. We'll just do one. We have to do the vlookups and all that. Chat. We don't see the zeros. Where is that? Ravindu, what do you mean by we don't see the zeros? Yeah, can you? We don't see the zeros means? Ravindu, please. You can ask questions in any language. What do you mean by we don't see the zeros? Can you all hear me?
So I think it's in the previous example, sir. You already explained it, sir.
When you put a telephone number, you can't see the zero. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, sir. In the previous one, sir.
Yeah. The zero you can't see. So if you want to see the zero, the leading zeros, you have to make it a text by putting apostrophe, and then put 077. Press enter. Now you can see it with a zero, right? If I put 00001, it will be shown as 1. But if I put an apostrophe and say 00001, it will be shown with all the zeros. But as a text, right? If you want to still show 1 with 4 zeros in front, keeping it as a number, then you have to do the formatting. I'm not doing the formatting, number formatting. You can do it. I just show. Let's say this whole column, whatever the number I enter, I want to have with 2 leading zeros. So either you select the area or the whole column, right click, go to format cells, go to custom format. A number can be formatted using 0, hash or question mark. So if I say 3 zeros, even if I put 1, it will be 001. 4 zeros, it will be 0001. I just put 4 zeros. If I type 1 here and press enter, it will be, there you go. If I type 2, there you go. If I type 34, always make sure it will have 4 digits to show the number. But it's a number format. But if I enter this one and say 0001, it's a text. It's on the left side. These are numbers. So formatting is, I told you, it's another half a day session. Formatting number and date formatting, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's get this sample file for the previous one. I'll do it quickly. What is the sample file I told you? (9D). Open 9D. My God, 5:30. 9D. Just do one and show you. See how the time flies. 9D sum if accounts. That's the question here, right? Okay. Here I have high hands account code, account 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 like that. Invoice numbers are these. Debit is this. Okay. This is for accountants. Let me take another one. I'll have to explain you the accounting part of it. Let's take another one. Sum if. Sum if 9D sum if S. Let's take the sum if S. This one. Okay. Here you have the, if you want to find the answer, you click here. No, answer not there, right? Okay. Let's say sum all quantities less than 100 for Abans. Less than 100 for, let's go to the first one. Sum if, there are two sheets, go to the first one. Sum all quantities less than 100. What we did earlier, right? So here we are, put the answer here, equal sum if, open bracket, range is the same. So we put the quantity, comma, criteria is less than 100. If you want, you can select simply this cell, or within double quotes, you can say less than 100. 644. If I say greater than 100, 2,900, can you see it changes? Right. Yeah, I put both in the same cell. But if I put less than here and 100 here in two different cells, right? Then I had to change it to this formula. Instead of M8, I had to say this cell and this cell. With the same answer. So I can say greater than. Instead of 100, I can say 200. There you go. Can see this changing. I can say quantity 30. 3582. Less than 30. Only 23. So like that you change here. Formula is M4 and N4. I put here. Or else you can have one cell. Right. So I'll do the other one. Sum if S. You can try these things. Sum all quantities of keels, Gampa outlet. Put the answer here. Keels, Gampa outlet. There are two. It has to be keels and it has to be Gampa. So I have to use the sum if S equal sum if S plural. First you put the sum range. Sum all quantities. So sum range is a quantity. It's very easy if you understand. Comma, criteria range 1. Keels. Where do you find keels? Range 1. Keels is here. This column. Custom. Comma. Criteria 1. I'll use the cell address. Comma. Criteria range 2. Gampa. So what is the range? Where can I find Gampa? This outlet. Outlet is a range. Come on. What is the criteria 2? I'll use this one. 663. So if I say Abans here, it will give the total for Abans. Nothing. There's nothing for Abans Gampa. Let's see whether it's true. Abans, let me sort it by the customer. Then you can see it very easy. These are Abans. Nothing for Gampa. Right. Let's say Abans goal. $767. Right. That's a sum if and sum if S. Right. I'll do the count if also with the same data. So it's easy. Let's say I want to find out how many invoices are there for Abans in this lot. Right. Let me sort it by again the invoice number. You don't have to sort it from Abans to do that. So then it's count if equal count if. P is missing. That's why it didn't come. What is the range? Abans. Where can I find Abans? This range, customer range. What is the criteria? I can use Abans within double quotes, so I can use this cell here, customer, this one, cell address. So there are 6 for Abans, right? 6 for Abans. That's a count, number of times Abans is there. Okay. So that is sum if and count if. Any questions? Shall I proceed? Come on. I'm going too fast, I know.
No, okay, sir.
Scope is too much, but don't worry, you can look at the thing, right? VLOOKUP and hlookup and xlookup. XLOOKUP, I don't think if you're using only Office 365 that you can use xlookup. Otherwise, you can install it as an add-on from internet. Right. Let's see. VLOOKUP is vertical lookup. What does it do? Searches for a value in the first column of a table array and returns a value in the same row from another column to the right in the table array, to the right side. Right. Let me explain all that. Formula breakdown. Let's break it down. VLOOKUP. This is the syntax. Lookup value. Table array. What we are looking. Where are we looking? Which column are you looking? And specify whether it's a exact match or a range lookup. Forget about this part. Right. What it means, this value is in this list and return the value in this column. Number, I want the exact match of all. Okay. What you are looking for, where you are looking, what we want to know or get from there, whether we want to be precise or approximate in our search. Look at this. Here I have a table like this. And the moment I put the employee number, I need to get the department and salary from this table. When I type the employee number. So to do a VLOOKUP, you need to have a link between from the table. And that lookup value, that is called the lookup value, should be unique in the table. It can have duplicates, but it will pick only the first one. The moment it finds the first one, it will stop there. So the moment I enter number 4 here, the VLOOKUP will take number 4 and go to the table, start from here and go down looking for number 4. The moment it finds number 4, it will ask, what is the column that you want? Column index number is that. First column give what you get number 4. Second column means you get sales. That is what we want, the department. So you have to put number 2 as a column index number. If I put 3, you get the name. Because in this selection, remember always a lookup value is 1. Lookup value has to be 1 in the column index number. To the right, you count 2, 3, 4, 5, just serial count. Okay. So this is your link for the lookup value. The column index numbers are numbered as taking the lookup value as number 1. Remember that. So this is 2. If you want the name, you have to call for 3. If you want the quantity, you have to call for city. You have to call for 4, and salary you have to call for 5. Now, if I have the salary on this side of the employee number, you can't get it. Because you have to start selecting from the employee number. You can't even start from that. Yeah, question? So this is the syntax. Lookup value, table array, column index, range lookup is optional, right? If you don't put up, it'll be exact match, right? Can you open 9A1? 9A1. We look up employee data. 9A1. Question 1. Fill the department, basic salary and designation of all employees by referring master data sheet. Now your data sheet or the table can be in another sheet or in another workbook even. No problem. Can be even in another workbook. Right? So here I have my master data. I want to get the department, basic salary and designation for these three or for all these employee numbers. Right. Now, what is your link field or the lookup value? Employee number. Obviously, that is the key field for the both. Now, in my table, I told you when you select, okay, let me take the basic salary. I'll keep the department, right? I'll say equal vlookup. Whose salary do I want here? This guy's salary. That is the lookup value. Where am I checking it? It's in the other sheet. So I go to the other sheet. Now, can I start selecting from here? No. Why? Start selecting from the lookup value. So you have to start selecting from there. Right? I just say put a comma. Column index number. So if this is 1, what am I getting there? Name? No. Basic salary, no? So this is 1. Consider always the employee number as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need number 5. It's not given by the column name or the column heading. It's given by a number where your lookup value is considered number 1 and you start counting to the right side, right? Number 5, comma, it should be exact match. So double click on the exact match. False. Double click. You get 75,400. Right. Now this is wrong what I did. Right? Wrong. There's something wrong. A very common mistake that people do. When I copy this down, see what happens. It says these two are not there. Not applicable. What is the number? 1009. See whether 1009 is not there. 1009 is there. Why isn't it saying not there? Let's copy this formula and study why it's not coming. Control C. How do you copy a formula? Press select from here. Control C. Press the escape key. And then go to master data and we'll copy it somewhere here. Put an apostrophe and then paste it. Otherwise it will try to evaluate it. Sorry. Right. Otherwise it will try to evaluate it. So put an apostrophe and then paste it. Wait. I'll select this. Give me a second. Floating numbers. Select from here. Control C. Escape. Go to the other one. Master data. Put an apostrophe and then paste it. There you are. Let's see what's wrong with this. What happened earlier was when I press escape, this came. You have to press escape twice because I have hidden these controls, right? Let's make it a bit bigger and see what is wrong with it, right? Lookup value is A12. A12 is a lookup value, true, 1009. Lookup table is master data C11 to 100 J29. What is C11? Here, J29. I color the range that it's looking. It's checking in this range whether 109 is there. It's not there. It's out of the range. What has happened? The dollar sign. See how important the dollar sign is. Right? In my VLOOKUP, I didn't fix the range. C4 to J22. The next one becomes C5 to J23. Next one is starting from C6. Next one is starting from C7. No, we have to check the same range. So therefore, what have I got to do is I have to put a dollar sign here and a dollar sign here, or put dollars for both even. Okay. Now if I copy it, you'll get the answer for the other two. There you have got the answer. Now I am checking the range from C4 to J22. C4 to J22 means C4 is here, J22 is this one. Now that's the correct range. Right? I'll make it red. Now yeah, I'm checking the same range now. Earlier the range was also moving down. Why? Because there was no dollar sign. See how important the dollar sign is. Very common mistake that people do. Now the problem is I can't take the department. Why? Department is on the left side of the lookup value. So what do I do? Select the column, Control X, go here, Control V. Done. Now I can take the department. Equal vlookup. Lookup value is this, comma. Table, go to the master data. Select the table from here to here. Press function key 4 or $sign. This is okay, or both dollars is okay. What is the column index number for department? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 9. Comma. Exact match is this. Finance. Designation, what is the easiest way? Same lookup value, same range. Only the number changes. So you don't have to do it again. What do? Copy this. Control C. Escape. And then go here and say Control V to get the salary. Right? But what we need is not the salary. So what do? Instead of 5, you put number 8. Number 8 is a designation. There you go. So without typing the same thing, sometimes you can just change the column index numbers. There are ways of making the column index number also automatic. Because in a column, if I say equal column, there's a function called column, it will give the column as a number. Column 15, O is 15. If I put in A, it will be 1, B is 2. So I can make use of this. If it's a straight away, this thing I can make of is a column number. But I'm not going into that now. Right, that is vlookup. Can you open the other one? Now, how do you know whether it's vlookup or hlookup? It depends on how we are checking the table, how your lookup value is arranged in the table. How your lookup value is arranged in the table, vertically or horizontally. What is my lookup value? Employee number. It's in the table, it's vertical from here to here. So it's vlookup. Right? Remember. hlookup. Open the other sample file for hlookup. hlookup sample file. Number 9B hlookup mark sheet. Look at this. Select the student name from a drop-down list using data validation. Student name drop-down list. Now I haven't done the data validation. I'll just do it because we are giving a question at the end. So that will have a data validation, but we are not giving marks for that. It's better to know. Student name. Data validation means when you click on the cell, you get a drop down. From that you can select. And you can't enter anything other than that is in the list. That is called validation, right? How to do a data validation is like this. For the student name, I select this cell, click on data, data validation. This is data validation. Under data tools, you get data validation. Click on it. At the moment it says any value. I'm going to say no, I want to pick it from a list. Click there. And it's asking for the source. Where is the list? So I click on the source. Make sure you click here and select from here to here. That is your names. And say, okay, that's all. Now you get a drop down here. So can I enter any other name? No. I can say Avan, but I can't say, let's say I put Asoka here. Why? It's not in that list, right? So data is validated. There are a lot of things you can do with data validation. Just a simple one, I'm sure. Management marks. That is something you have to enter. Right? Okay. Now select the student name from a drop-down list using data validation. That is done. Enter management marks for the selected student. Right. Now what is my lookup value? Lookup value is student. I have to get this guy's marks. So I have to get this name here and search for it. Vertically or horizontally. I have to search it horizontally. So it's hlookup. Why? The student names, the lookup value here is arranged horizontally. hlookup. If it is the subject name, then it's vlookup. Right? Okay. But here I want the marks for this guy. So my lookup value is this. This is the value I take from here and I look up this way. The moment I find my lookup value, I have to check in which row do I get management marks. This is my first row. This is my second row. This is my third row. This is my fourth row. In fourth row, earlier it was column index number. Now it's a row index number. In the fourth row, you get management marks. So here we are. Let me widen it so that it's easy to see. Equal hlookup. Lookup value is this. Comma. Table array is this. Have I got to fix it here? I'll tell you some advice. When you are using vlookup and hlookup, always fix a table. In this case, you don't need to. Otherwise, you forget to fix it. But if you fix it, even it will work. So therefore, I'll fix it. It's a good habit to fix a table. This one you don't need because I'm not going to drag the answer. If you drag the answer only, you have to fix, right? Comma, what is it asking now? Row index number. In this selection, this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row. Management is fourth row. Comma, exact match. You get 85. Our has got 85 for management. Okay. If I change this to, let's say, Kapila, 72. Kapila has got 72 for management. 72 for Kapila. 72, right? Okay. So that is hlookup and vlookup. Now, let's open this one. There are other exercises, some data you can try. Let's open. Yeah. Who's the organizer here? Can I take another half an hour of your time, Bashini? Is it okay? Hello? Will you spare for another half? Otherwise, I won't be able to do pivot tables. That's why we have to do match index also. Will you spare another half an hour? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
It's okay, sir. It's fine.
All right, great. So whoever wants to go, you have other work, no problem. You can look at the recording, but let's do it. Okay, let's do the. Can you open sample file? For match index. Something like that. Match index number 9C. Number 9C is match index. Now, match is one function which can be used alone. Index is another one, right? But when you combine these two, it's very powerful. The syntax of the index is let me close this. So that's vlookup, that's hlookup, syntax, lookup value, what you are looking for, table array, row index number, what we want to know or get. XLOOKUP, I'll keep it aside because XLOOKUP is not available on other versions. If I have time, I'll just show you. Very powerful, right? Index and match, or match and index. What does it do? Returns a cell value from the intersection of a given row and column number. So you give the row number and the column number, then it will give the intersection of that value, right? Array, you have to specify which array, what is the row number, what is the column number. From this table, return the value from this row number and intersect this column number and return me the value. That is what it will do in simple English. Right. Match, what does it do? Returns a position of an item within a list of range of cells. Which row it is, row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, like that. Position. Lookup value, what is the value that you are looking? Which array are you looking? Match type means exact match is 0 or less than 0, greater than 0, something like that, right? Okay. Match, look up this value from the range of cells return me the exact match position where its value matches. So once you combine this, you get a very powerful function, right? Let's see. What I need to know is, I put already data validation here. The store, if I say keys, right? Item is, let's say, Samba. I need to get the price here. That is 96 should come here, right? So with the match function, I can match this and see. I'll say equal match. What is the lookup value? This is my lookup value. Come on. What is the lookup array? This is my lookup array, right? Have I got to fix it? Better fix it. In this case, you don't need to fix it because I'm not going to, my answer, I'm not going to drag like this. No, if you're going to drag like this, you have to fix it. But in this case also, it's nothing wrong fixing it. Come on. Match type is what? Exact match. That's all. One-to-one match. Not greater than 1 or less than 1. Exact match. What do I get here? What is that? Equal match. Lookup value is, keys. Sorry, right? The lookup array, I can't select the whole thing. Where do I get the lookup array? From here to here. Not the whole thing. In this array only I'm checking it. Right? You can't select the whole thing. That's a mistake. So here we are. Lookup array is this. You can fix it or not fix it. I'll fix it. It should be exact match. That is this one, 0. When you double click, it will come into 0. You get the number 3. Why? It's in the third row. You get keys. Keys is in the third row. I just counted 1, 2, 3 here. In this selection, it's in the third one. Third position. Item equal match. Lookup value is Samba. Whatever the value I put here. Comma. Lookup array is from here to here. You can fix it or just keep it. I'll fix it. Comma 0. Exact match is 0. Very easy. So what's the number I should get for Samba? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, number 4. Number 4. So I got the positions 3 and 4. Vertical and horizontal. Now I'm going to use that with the index. What is the index? Equal index. Array, row number and column number. Right? For the index, you are with the array. What is my array? This is my array. Right? What is the row number? Row number is this one. Here I have got the row number here. Come on. What is the column number? This one. So I get 96. Here we are. So instead of keys, if I put labs, you get 95. Right? This is conditional formatting. With conditional, you can use this in conditional formatting and highlight that value also. We haven't, it's not in our scope. Right? If I, instead of Samba, if I put sugar, 88, there you are. Labs, sugar. Okay? Labs, sugar. 2 coordinates. So what we normally do is, instead of putting K3 and K4, instead of K3, what do? I use a match function. Within the lookup, the index, within the index, I use a match function. What is the lookup value? Lookup value is this. Comma. Lookup array is what? What is lookup array? Where do you get labs? This is my lookup array. I can fix it. 0. That is my one coordinate. Right? Other coordinate, column number, again I use a match function. Earlier I just broke it into 2. Now I'm doing it in one shot. Lookup value is what? Sugar. Comma. Lookup array is from here to here. Function key 4. 0. Here is exact match. And then other bracket. You get 88. So I have earlier broken this into 2 simple things. And without using these 2 coordinates, I'm using the 2 formulas which are here. It gives the same thing. Right? Okay. That is match and index, very powerful. So by giving the two coordinates, the row number and the column name, you can get the intersection point, whatever the value you have in the intersection. That is called match index or index and match. Sum product multiplies range of cells or arrays and returns the sum of products. First multiplies, then adds the values in an input array. Can be entered as a part of formula in a cell or worksheet. Right. You can read it leisurely. Up to 30 arrays can be provided, right? Sum product function, yeah. This is an advanced thing why you put the two minuses in sum product. If you are using a text field, the two minuses will convert the true and false into 1 and 0. That's the idea, right? Anyway, let's see what the sum product sample file is. Number 12A. Number 12A. Okay, now if you want to get the total of amount, right, what you have to do is you have to get a formula here, G6 into X, quantity into unit price, and then add up all this as sum. But if you don't, without this column, let's say you don't have this data, you can use it with the sum product. You can simply, right, otherwise there are, two operations here, two steps. First you have to get the multiplication of these two and then add up. But with the sum product, you can do it one shot. I'm going to say equal sum product. Array 1, array 2, array 3. So I have two arrays. Quantity, comma, unit price. You get the total. What does it do? It will add up this into this, plus this into this, plus this into this, plus this into this, plus this into this. If you have another array, you can go like that also. 30 arrays you can do. Otherwise, you have to say equal this into this. And then copy this down. You get the same answer there. That is sum product. The double dash converts a true and false. Now, in the sum product, if you want to find out number of sales, now instead of count if, now we did the count if and sum if, you can use a sum product also to get something like count if and sum if. Right? Number of sales by Abans, you can use with the count if, right? I'll explain this. What is D6 to D17? That is where you get the Abans, the customer column, right? In the count if we use a column which has a text. Now here what I use, the two columns are quantity and unit price. Both are having two numbers, so it counts it. But if you are using a text field for the sum product, what it does is it will give true and false. So it will give a wrong answer, right? This is Abans, this is the item, balls. Let me show you the answer, right? I'll just do it here. It will give an error. Why? Because I'm going to add up, multiply to, let me do it here, equal sum product. Try to understand this clearly. Sum product, array 1 I'm using Abans, array 2 I'm using items. Will it give an answer? No. Error. 0. Why? Two text fields. Why? So instead, what I do is, when you put two minus signs in front of the sum, in front of this one, it will convert this true and false into ones and zeros. So it will come with a count, right? So here I do equal sum product open bracket, right? For the array 1, I put two minus signs, right? And then D6 to D17, Abans, D6 to D17. D6 to D17. Okay, you can fix it. Equal abans. So we have put a condition there also. And so how many things are there for abans? There are only 7 abans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because now when you evaluate, it comes a true and false. No? All the ones which are true, that is abans ones, will get a 1 and it will add up to 7. So you got the answer like that. Then if you want to find out the total of balls sold by abans, then what do you do? You can say equal sum product. Again, we are talking about a X field, right? So you have put the 2 minus signs, open the bracket, D6 to D17, there is a customer, right? You can put the dollar sign here, no problem. Without the dollar sign also it will work. I'll put the dollar sign, equal abans, right? Into, again, minus minus, to convert the true and false into ones and zeros. Open bracket, F6 to F17, that is where you get balls and shuttles and nets and all that. Close the 2 brackets. Into the price. This column into this column into this column. No, that's how it works. Into the price. Right? Now price is what? For the price you don't need, because it's a number field, it'll directly take the number of it. Into the amount, total price, yeah. I6 to I17. Will it give answer? Hash value. Why is that? We have issue here. The number of brackets. Okay, done. Why is that? Okay, let's see what this formula is. D6 to D17, $H, sorry, $H, $22. Balls I haven't specified, F6 to F17, equal balls, yeah. Balls. Specify what it is, abans and balls. You get 3,500. Right? Instead of balls, if I put nets, abans, does it sell nets? No, bets are there. So I'll put bets. So you can have these two in what? In different sales, balls and bets. It's 10,000. This is a bet 10,000. Abans bets only 10,000. This is not Abans, so this is Kiel's bets. This is also Kiel's bets. So Abans bets is 10,000, right? So remember, this column into this column into this column. Well, the problem is this column and this column are two text. This column is the only number field. So the two text columns, I put 2 minuses in front of that to make it ones and zeros for the trues and false. Right. What's the time? Right, we had 20 minutes to do the, we should have done the pivot tables first. There. The table features of Excel, okay. Module 10A, Excel tables. Don't worry about that. When entering data, always enter in table format. What do you mean by that? Heading and data, heading and data, heading and data. Do not have blank rows or columns in between. Have the headings in a different format. Always in a Excel data collection, the headings should be at least make it bold and keep it. When you convert data into a table, these are the advantages you have. Formulas and functions are updated automatically. Now, table format means different thing. Converting to a table is another thing. Table format means heading and data, heading and data. Converting to a table, you get advantages like this. Let's open 10A. Let's open 10A. NA, right? Now, Excel tables. Look at these two, same data sets. Select this one. Select this one. One is a table, one is not. Can you tell me, somebody tell me which is converted to a table? Both are in table formats. As long as you have the heading and data below, it's in table format, like a table. But one is converted, formatted as a table. Which one is formatted as a table? A or B? Data set 1 or data set 2? Data set 2. How do you know that? Look at the last cell. You can see a small dot here. Blue color, small, reverse L. Can you see? If you go to the last cell, you can see a small dot. That means it's a table, the end point of the table. This one doesn't have. But the appearance looks the same. Now, do you know how many rows does Excel have? Press Control and down arrow. You have 1,048,576 rows. So if your last point of data is in the 1 millionth row, you can't be going to the 1 millionth row to see whether it's a table or not. Right? Then press Control Home to get back to the first A1. From wherever you are, press Control and Home key, it will go to A1. Okay. So when you select inside the data set, this has only up to here, the tabs. If you click on this one, there's an additional tab called Table Design. That means it's a table. Right? Sorry. That's how you know whether it's a table or not. When you click inside, it will give the Table Design toolbox here. Right. When you click on Table Design, you can see some different things where you can change the designs, everything onto that. Right. Now this made a table. I want to convert it back to a range. Before that, I'll show you the. Look at this. What is the formula here? Sum F7 to F16. What is the formula here? Sum N7 to N16. Both answers are same. This is not a table. This is a table. I'm going to add something here. The exercise is there. You can do it, but I'll just do it. I put 1 and I put a value here, 2,500. Does my value change here? No, 1,870. I put the same thing 1 and quantity I put 2,500. See the value on top here, right? Look at the value here. It changes to 4,370. It's a huge advantage. If you have formulas, let's say you have 150 formulas using this data, when you add or delete data from this table, automatically all those formulas will change. Otherwise, one by one, you have to spot this green color arrow and then go here and say update formula to include cells. Just imagine. So when it's a table, that's the advantage. The tables expand automatically. Can you see the last point? Expanded automatically. And also, when you put a data validation or a conditional format to one row, when you add the other rows, that also will expand. That's a good thing, right? So that's one advantage. The other advantage is, I'll just undo this. Other advantage is, go to table design. When you put total row here, it adds up the total. The last column is total. Let's say you don't know any function. You go to this one, you want to find out the quantity. See, that's a drop down. The average, you want to get the average of quantity. You want to get the count of quantity, 10. You want to get the count number is also 10, right? You want to get the maximum of the quantity, 34. So maximum of the quantity is 464. This is the highest value of the quantities. You want to get the sum of the quantity. You want to get the standard deviation of the quantity. You want to get the variance of the quantity. Can you see? This one. You can't get the sum, this is a text field, but you can get the count. There are 10. Here you want, they have got the sum, but I want the average there. So all those things are there. If you don't want it, remove the total row. It's another advantage. So like that, there are advantages. Only disadvantage is the moment you put protection onto a table, the table feature goes off. Right? Even there are so many people who have requested Microsoft to include that feature. Even I have made a request, but still they haven't done it. I know they can do it, but they are not doing it for some reason, because then, you know, the Access and Excel, the gap is anyway narrowing. Access is a database, so it will further narrow, I think, maybe because of that. Thousands of people are requesting to have that feature, but they're not doing it. Maybe later they might do it. Anyway, so that's the table features. Okay, now let's go on to pivot tables. What happened to mine? We look up, index and match, sum product, table features of Excel. That's where we are. Right. Okay. Table and row columns are independent. Right. Total row at the bottom is available on request. That's what I showed you. Tables expand automatically. What do you mean by independent is you can simply select a row, right click on a row and delete that row without affecting any other tables on the sides, right? Okay. Pivot tables and pivot charts. Now, unfortunately, we have only few minutes to do this, but I'll give you an idea. It's another 4-hour session. I have a 4-hour session on pivot tables and dashboards, right? So I'll just give you the insight, because you all are engineers, means extraordinary people, so you can grab it. Okay. Let's see. Questions? Sir, what key you press to fix the cell without typing $? F4, function key 4. Right on top you get F1, F2, F3, 4, F4. But some keyboards will not work with F4. Then you will have to use Fn key. At the bottom you get a Fn key, function key. Together Fn and F4 you have to press, right? You have to press Fn and F4. Some keyboards, right? Okay. Now what happened? Okay, a lot of people are left. That's, I think, time is up. Anyway, let's finish this so that at least you have the recording. They can refer to that. Hide floating meeting controls. Right, okay. Pivot tables and pivot charts. Now you all know what a pivot joint is. What do you mean by pivot? Means here, this is a pivot joint. You can turn it either way, right? In vehicles and all, you get pivot joints. So pivot table is also something like that. It's a data summarization tool found in spreadsheets. Even OpenOffice, Google Sheets, both has pivot tables, but not as powerful as this. Used to query large amounts of data in many user-friendly ways. Most powerful tool in Excel, and it's a tool for the management. Right. What can we do with pivot tables? Percentages, all these things you can do, and many more. The important thing about pivot tables is prerequisites. To do a pivot table, make sure your data should be in this format. Not that you have to format as a table, but the data has to be collected in a table way, like the heading and table. If you convert it to a table, better. But if you don't convert, even you can do a pivot table, right? Remember that. Do not have empty or merged cells. You can't have merged cells for column headings or data. Empty cells can be there. If you all are working with pivot tables, sometimes you will have come across situations where when you are looking for the sum, you get a count. You are expecting the sum by putting a number field, but you are getting the count. That means either there's an empty field or a text field in that column, right? So better not have, but you can have. But merge cells you cannot have. Every column data should have a heading. Do not have blank rows and blank columns. Have the headings in a different format. That's a must in Excel. Otherwise, Excel doesn't know whether it's a heading or data, right? The last one, most important, make sure your headings are bottom line headings. What do you mean by bottom line headings is, the heading should not be a heading that can be broken into another heading. Example I'll give you. Let's say some people collect data like this. I'll just get some numbers, random numbers, right? Yes, that's very right. Let's say this is your something. Maybe your rainfall or temperature or thing. To do a, you can't get the full power of your pivot table by using this type of data, collecting the data like this. Why? Where can you find what this is? Do you know what this is? No. We don't know what this is just a number. And this heading, I told you, has to be a bottom line heading, means a heading that cannot be broken to another heading. The correct way of collecting data here, just imagine this is rainfall, right? We can say this is rainfall. Millimeters. Right? You have to collect like this. Month, rainfall. So the month should be January here, right? For okay, then Control C, Control V, all this is January, right? January. Then you come February, right? February. So February month is this one. Control C. Sorry. I just copy it here, right? So February, this one. This is my February data. Control C, Control V, and this is all February. This one I'll make it copy cells. It will be all February. Then March should come bottom. So this is the correct way of collecting data. This is the way of reporting data. Rainfall in millimeters. This is very easy to understand, but this is the way to collect this data, right? So remember that. So don't have January, February this way. You have to have month, and below that you have to have the January, February. It will repeat. That's okay. Can you open the sample file called, let me take, there are so many sample files for your tables. I'll just take one and show you. Module 10G, pivot received items, sales, 10G. Open 10G. Right. Now, before doing the pivot table, just to refresh, the question is, assume the first two characters of product code is brand code and last two characters are size. First two characters of the product code is brand code. How to get the first two characters? Equal left text and number of characters. What is the text? This is the text. Number of characters is 2. Now, why did it come with the add product code without the cell address? Because it's a table. How do you know it's a table? When you click inside, you get table designs here on top, right? It's a table. Okay, it's a table, right? In a table, when you select a cell, it will put the column name of that cell, right? Okay. So here we are, 2 characters from left. SG, DU, and the other thing is you don't have to drag it down. If it's a table, automatically the others will get filled. Then 2 characters of product code is brand code. Last 2 characters are size. So size means equal right. From the right, you get the last 2 characters, right? Of this, how many characters? 2 characters from the right. You get that? The brand name, if it is SG, it has to be Swissgear. What is the function we have to put there? vlookup, just to refresh, right? Just to refresh. Enable content. Okay. I'll say equal vlookup. What is my lookup value? Brand code. Come on. Table array. This. Fix it. Yes. Come on. Column index number. This is the first one. This is the second one. I want the name is number 2. This is number 1. This is number 2. Come on. Exact match. There you go. So SG all Swissgear, DU is Goiter, Swissgear, all that, right? Okay. Now we have the table. Let's do a pivot table first. Before doing the pivot table, let's understand what does it do. If you take this summary report, these are called cross-functional or summary reports. What you have this way is called, this way are called what? Rows. So summary report can have row headings. So this is the heading of this row. So this is called a row heading. This one and this two. Everything in this row is silver. Everything in this row is gold. And these are columns. So these are all column headings. Very clear. Right? In the middle, sorry, on top you have another heading. The same data can be there for females. So that is for the report heading. That's in a higher level. Then at the middle, you have the data, the values. The heading for the values is here. Here we have to say what this is. Total sales or credit cards or whatever. Right. So as long as you can grab this or identify this picture in your head, right? Then pivot tables is nothing. Pivot table is already based on a cross-functional report. Here you have the report heading on top. Column headings, row headings, value fields, the heading is here. This is a pivot report. Sum of cards sold is this. The zone east, north, southwest, credit card type, gold, silver. Right? Okay. So here we are. How to do a pivot table. Now, when you do a pivot table, this is how we do it. Select a cell inside. In this data sheet, select a cell inside. Don't select cell outside, select one inside. Not 2 cells, just 1 cell. And say insert. Click on insert tab. Click on pivot tables. Check whether you have selected, automatically it has selected with a dotted line the whole area. If you had a blank row or a blank column, the selection will stop there. That is why I said not to have a blank row and blank column, right? That's the idea. I'll say okay. I'm going to put it to a new worksheet. Just say insert pivot table, okay. It'll come with this screen. This area might be either here on this side or in the middle here. You can drag it from here and put it here till you can't see it. It'll automatically settle. I'll tell you a nice story, which I will never forget. Right? Very important to you. For the people who are doing pivot tables first time. When I joined Brandix in 2006, I didn't know anything about pivot tables. I haven't heard of pivot tables. I was told there was a transition from 2003 to 2007. So Brandix has, that time we had about 43,000 employees. Out of that, there were about 7,000 odd executives, which we had to train. From 2003 to 2007 was a big leap. So I was given 50%, Microsoft was given 50%. We combined it. I was given the topics by Microsoft to teach them. In that, there was this thing called pivot tables. I hope I have this book with me. So I didn't know pivot tables. What did I do? I went to Vijitayapa and bought a huge book about this size for 2,500. That time, it's a big amount. 2006. And it had a CD with data. So I put everything. I was studying pivot tables. Suddenly, it was going on smoothly, but suddenly that list of things which is here was missing. Now you saw in your ones, there may be some list here, right? Some data is here, but now in my one is missing. The book didn't say how to get it back. So I had to stop learning pivot tables and close the chapter. I was thinking, I asked a lot of friends, they didn't know. The pivot tables was a bit new that time. It was there in 2003, people never used it. Now I was shivering because I had to do the training in another 2 months' time. But before that, luckily, I don't know whether you have heard of Dr. Nitin, Indian doctor. He's a guru on Excel. He's an MVP, Microsoft Most Valued Professional. There are only 6 or 7 at that time. He was here in Sri Lanka, and Brandix, Mr. Ashraf asked me on the corridor, Asoka, I know you're teaching Excel for donkey's years and you know your Excel, but there's a guy who has come from India. He's MVP. If you want, we have got a free slot because we are a gold customer. If you want, I can put it. Now, I am a person who will learn from anybody. Even a Montessori child, there are things to learn. Right? I don't have any ego. Right? For you all, my advice is also that don't have any ego. Okay? Learn from anybody, even from an animal, you can learn a lot of things. Right? So I said, yes, please send me. So I went for this training. Advanced Excel, Train the Trainer. That was the name of the thing. And it was 5 days, 9 to 5. Now we are doing in 2.5 hours. 5 days, 9 to 5. He didn't do these basic functions like if and all that. Advanced stuff. So we did it. When we want pivot tables, again, my screen that went off. I look at the other guy. He was looking at mine. He saw the same thing as happened. I was shy to ask him. I am also of that same age. He was also about my age. So I was shy to ask, as even you all are like that. You all don't ask questions. Other guy said, sir, something happened. He raised a hand. What has happened? Do you know what has happened? I have clicked outside. Just click outside. The list goes off. Click inside. The list comes in. I didn't have the brain to click inside and see whether it comes. I just click accidentally. You play with your mouse. So you click here, it goes off. The book doesn't say to get it back. So mistakes you have to learn. Right. But if you click here, the list will go whether you click inside or not, it won't come. Right. So if you click on that cross, it will go off. To get it back, you have to go here. To get it back, you have to click on pivot table analyze. To get it back and go to field list here. Select field list, then it will come back. But even if you have selected this, if you click outside, it will go up. You have to click inside, right? Now, what are these? These are the headings of your data. These are the headings of your data. Transaction ID, outlet, date, item, all that. Headings are there, transaction ID, outlet, date. Now, you have to decide what should be your column heading. You know what column headings are. What should be a row heading, right? So these are the 4 boxes you have. Filters, that is the report heading. Columns is a column heading. Row is a row heading. Value is where you put your calculation values. So I'll put outlet to rows. If you click here also, it will go to rows. These are my outlets, right? I'll go down. Total USD. Click there, it will go to the value field because it's a number. Can you see how many records are there in this? $685 records are there. All summarized by row label, which is what? Outlet, right? So these are row label. I told you this way, these are row label. So because I put it to rows, if I put this to columns, it will be summarized like that. Can be like that, like that, like that. Okay. You can drag it anywhere you want. Okay. Now I want further by the brand code. I put the brand code to rows. Now can you see? I'll put the brand name, no? Without the brand code, we have the brand name now. I'll put the brand name. So it's much better. There you go. Pivoting means this. If you want, you can put the outlet below this. There you go. Candy outlet. This is the brand name. Only thing, this color doesn't suit. So go to design and make it a nice color. There are so many options here. That's better, right? There you go. If you change these two, it will be the other way around, pivoting. Candy, what is this? The brand name. Colombo brand name, right? If you want, you can put it here. To do a chart for this, simply go to pivot table analyze and go to pivot chart. Okay, let's take this chart. Say okay. I'll keep the chart somewhere here. Or maybe here. So this is how we create our dashboards, right? Okay. Then you go to the chart. I'm not going into detail of charts. You can go to chart design. And here you can change the color range. You can put a nice range of colors. There you go. Right. Okay. Click outside, it goes up. You click inside. I want to further do a filtering on this, which is called slicers. Right? I want to give a slicer. Go to pivot table analyze. Insert slicer. I want to slice it. Now we have the outlet and I'll say I want it by brand code or brand name, by size, by product code. Three slicers. Those are filters. Actually, slice is a dynamic filter. So here we have the filters. So I'll go here, make it small to the size that you really require. Size, I'll keep it here. That is up to you to position it nicely. Product codes, I have a lot. So what do? I widen this column, widen it, and then select the slicer here, the slicer tools, and say number of columns 2. So there it is in 2 columns. Still too much. So maybe I'll widen it more or make it 3 columns. Like that you can make it, right? 3 columns. Yeah, now it's better. Only thing. Right. Okay. Here I have the slices. Now see what happens. If you want to find only for Swiss key, I click Swiss key. This is the total for Swiss key only. Medium. That's a Swiss key, a medium. Only this product code. See, the slicer is also filtered. These are all gray color. Only this is there. Small. There are 2 product codes. Excel. 2. Large. Can you see the chart is also changing? Medium. This will select all. Totunga. All means this. Right. So that's the basic of pivot tables. Now, let's keep this side. I'll get a copy of this. Control A means select all. I select a cell and say Control A. That's the easiest way. Control C. I'll keep this here. Here I'm going to say Control B. Right. For this one, instead of outlet, I'm going to put the date here. Date. If you are using the old version, 2007, 10, 13, then you will get the number of days, the days here. If you are using 2016 onwards, you get the year or the month. But what you can do is, I select this, any of these years, right click it, and I'll say ungroup. Then it'll give you the dates. Right? Okay. Ungroup will give you this dates. Right. Can you see? Now, if you want it by months, the sales for each of these, then right click on a date and say group. You can group and ungroup. When you say group, you can see the 2 dates here, the starting date and the ending date of the whole data, 600 odd sheet, the rows, right? If this falls into 2 different years, now this coming from 2019 to 20. If I select only the month, your data is wrong. Why? Both years, January total will come. So you have to make sure you select the month and the year and say, okay. That is my monthly sales. Monthly sales. How fast I got it? You want the quarterly sales, right click on it. Make sure you select the year also. Again, go to group, and instead of months, you put quarters. Year and quarter. If you just put the quarter, both years, quarter one will get the total of that, right? Okay. So that's my quarter. Quarter one, quarter two for 2 years. Right? See how fast I can get it. Now what do? I remove the brand code. These are totals. The total is on top, then you get the details. I don't like it. What do? I go to design. I go to design and say the subtotals. If you don't want, you can say this. I want it at the bottom of the group. That looks better. Normally we are used to this type of thing, no? Bottom of the group, right? Now what do? I'm going to put the total USD again onto this. Onto this box, you can put the same field again and again. So you get the same value. No point. I want to see this as a percentage. What do? Right click on any of these and say show value as percentage of grand total. How do you like that? Just imagine getting this report. How long will it take if you don't have pivot tables? Right? So that is the power of pivot tables. Then if you want, you can add certain more things, right? If you want, you can put item below the date. I can put the item wise, I can see this. Quarter one, these are the items and these are the percentage. Quarter one total. Quarter two total. Quarter three total. Item wise. You want it size wise within the item? At the size. I put the size below the item or before the item, it depends. Within headlamp, large, medium, small. Sleeping bag, large, medium, small, Excel. Finish. You want to further make it brand name? How do you want it? The brand name. There. Under that, Swiss gear, Excel total. Swiss gear. If you want to put the, look at this. This is what you call pivoting. The brand name you can put straight away below the date. Then first we'll start with the brand name and then it will go on. Swiss gear, backpack, large and XL, backpack total. Car rack, large and small, car rack total. Like that it will go on. So there are so many things you can do. Now, let's get back to this. Let's finish it off. So this box, field in this cage will appear as column headings, the green color one. Separate sheets can be created for fields in the filter cage. I'll show that and we'll finish it off. Fields and row cage will appear as row headings. You know what row headings do? Row headings are this way, column headings are this way. Right. And whatever you put here, these things, normally we place the text fields, but if you put a number field there, you can get the grouping. Now I put the date. Date is a number. So I managed to right click and group it, right? But if you whatever you want to calculate, you have to put it into this field. If you put a text field here, you get the count. If you put the text field onto this page, you can get the count. So here we are. Steps of creating a pivot table, as I told you. Here we are. Okay. Credit card usage. Right. Slices, I showed what slices are. Okay. Show report filter pages. What do you mean by that? Let's, now these are dashboard. These are what you call dashboards. Can you see this dashboard? Done with pivot tables. This is sales info, this is HR info, right? If you select Swiss gear, you can see this is a change. Department finance, how many people are there? Their salaries, HR. If you want to select HR and sales both, press the control and select this. There you go. Press the control and select finance. You can see this is also changing. I put a pie chart, the percentage, job Slices for Colombo, there. Candy, Gampaha, Candy, Kalutar, all three. Right? So that's called a dashboard, where you have data from different sources shown at the same place, like the car dashboard. You have the speedometer, you have the oil meter, you have the fuel gauge, everything shown in one place. That's called the dashboard, right? Now, just one more thing and we'll finish. Get to this table again, select a cell, I'll do a fresh one, insert, pivot table, okay. Do a fresh one, right? Insert pivot table, okay. I can't see the fields. Why? Because I have expanded this right there. There are different ways you can see this, right? This way, this way. You can try these things. I'll prefer this one, right? I want a report for each month. I put the date here. Right click on a year and say group. I want to group it by year and quarter. Or let's say year and month. Year and month will come like that, right? Okay. What do you want? Number of units sold, not the total USD, number of units sold. Number of units sold. In January, 101 units sold. Right? Then I put the sold by product code, brand name, size, outlet. By each outlet. No, not the outlet, by brand name. By brand name. So I have a report here. Right? You can change these things. Huh? For column labels, I can say brand name. Brand names. Right? This one I can say months. Months. Sum of units sold. You can say number of sold. Let's see. Done. Like that, you can change the headings. Right. Then look at this. I want to give this report to each outlet. To each outlet in a separate sheet. I want to give this report to each outlet in a separate sheet. So then I put the outlet into the filter box. We didn't use this box so far. Filter box. Now I go to pivot table analyze. Go here. Don't click on options. Don't click on options. Click on the arrow here. Drop down and say show report filter pages. So what is my report filter? Is this one. This one I'm going to show in different pages, right? So go here. Click on the arrow and say show report filter pages. Outlet. Say okay. See what happens at the bottom. How many sheets do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll say okay and see what happens. Whatever. Nothing happened. Just second, group 1 and group 2. This is group 1, outlet group 1 and group 2. It has come in 2 groups. Right? Sorry. Can you open this one? I'll do a better example for you. Say open. The final one. What's the time? My God, I have passed 49. Just 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I'll do a nice one. We'll finish it off, right? Sorry for keeping you. Take pivot table age analysis. Now, when you go to work, or the accounts people will know this, there are things called age analysis. Debtors, you know, debtors means the people who haven't paid, right? Here, we have the normal data. I have put a calculation here. What's a calculation? Today minus date invoice. Today means today's date minus the date invoice. It will give you how many days it's outstanding. This invoice is not paid for 99 days. This is not paid for 122 days. Okay. So every end of the month, you send a statement for these customers saying in this column, not to 30 days, these are the invoices outstanding, right? So not to 29, 30 to 59 days, these are the invoices outstanding. How to do that? you know, when I was at DMS, it took me 1.5 days to write a program in COBOL language for a company called Carson Cumberbatch to do this. I can do it in 30 seconds now. Insert pivot table, okay. Right. What are the fields you need? You need the customer, date invoice, invoice number. You don't need the outlet. You don't need the quantity. You need the value. Outstanding days, I am going to put 2 columns. Right. I am going to expand this. Right click and say ungroup. See, it's like a staircase. Now I go to design and say I don't want the subtotals, so remove the subtotals. Do not show subtotals. Right. Report layout. I want it in tabular format, like table format. There are some things missing here. Abans should repeat here. So what do? Go to report layout and say repeat all items. Right. Done. Now this is 3 days outstanding. This is 4 days. This is 12 days. These 2. I want to make it into groups. I told you if you put a number field here onto rows or columns, you can group it. So this is a number field. Right click on any of these and say group. Okay, let me take this box here. Starting at 3, ending at 154. That is the lowest and the highest number of days. I make it 0 and I'm going to say up to 90 days I want this. So what happens to the ones which are more than 90? It will be in another group called over 90. If I say 120, it will be another group called 120. Norm is the norm that we use for the data is 90 days. And by 30-day blocks, 30-day groups. Starting at 0, ending at 90 by 30-day groups, see how it is. That is your data statement for the 3 customers. See? At the bottom you get total. Now I want to separate it and send it to each customer end of the month. What do? I put the customer onto filters. How many sheets do I have? 3. Go to analyze, pivot table, options, show report filter pages, and say okay. How many do I have? 3. Now see what happens. Abans, Haley's, Keels. Let me widen this column. There you go. So this is the one for Abans, automatically has taken them up. And this is for Haley's, this is for Keels. So see how fast it works. Otherwise you have to put a slice of Abans, copy that, paste it, rename it as Abans. You don't have to do all that. Automatically it's done for you. Right? It's done for you automatically. Okay. So I think, sorry for keeping you till late. Okay. So that's about pivot tables. It's very powerful. It's a 4-hour session, I told you. So those are the steps for that. A dashboard. I just showed you what a dashboard is. Right? These are the dashboards. Any questions? That's about it. You can call me anytime. Either when you go to work or when you have a problem in Excel, please call me. If I'm not at a lecture, I'll help you. And this is my email address. You can get a photograph of this and keep it. Right? Okay then. That's all from me. Very sorry for keeping till late because Excel is something I told you. After studying for 5 days from 9 to 5, I asked Dr. Nitin, how much of Excel have you covered? Right? He said about 25%. I said, my God, that's great. Do you know what he said then? I didn't want to disappoint you. It's about 3 to 5% after 5 days. So that is Excel. Right? Count a function. Sorry for not showing you that. Right? Count A means if I say, okay, let me delete some data from this. It's too big. Delete data. Yeah, somebody has asked count A, right? If I say equal count of from here to here, it'll give the number of times it's there. 10. There are only 10 records. But if I say equal count to this field, it'll give you 0. because count will count only numbers. So if you want to get the count of the text field, you have to use equal count A, open bracket, and then select this. It will give you 10, right? So count will count numbers and text both. Whether you have a number here, it will count. It will count that. 10 won't change. This will add up. This is count, no? 2 numbers are there in this column. So here 2 numbers are there. This will be 10. Hope it's clear. So how to get the bar chart from pivot table? Why? Let me do a pivot table for this. Short one. Insert, pivot table. There is pivot table. Okay, right? I put the customer here. I put the quantity here. Okay. I want a bar chart for this. Go to pivot table, analyze, and say pivot chart. There's a column chart, pie chart, bar chart. There. This is the 3D bar chart. Normal bar chart. Right? With the 3D bar chart, you can't have a, what do you call this? Trend lines. Right? I'll show that also. Let's say I deleted the data in this. No, in vain. Yeah. Since you asked that question, I'll explain the chart a bit more. Pivot edge analysis. Okay, let's open this again. Close it, don't save. I need some data. Okay, let's take the data of this. Says data raw. Right. I'll do a pivot table for this. Insert pivot table. Say okay. Right. I'll take the date. Okay. And right click and say group it. Put the years and say months and years both. Months and quarters, let's say. And then do the sales of that. Total USD. So this is my quarterly. I do a pivot chart. Right. I want to do a trend line and see how the product is moving. Right click on any of these and say add trend line. Add trend line. Right. There are different types of trend lines. Normally we take the linear, exponential, logarithmic, polynomial, moving average. Normally we take for inventories and all. I want to expand it for 3 months. You say forward 3. Forward 3 quarters actually. And when you say forward 3 and close it, you can see it's extended for another 3 quarters. So it's going down. Your sales is moving down. That's the trend line. Okay. Any more questions? Count A. Yes, sir. Thank you. So how to get the bar chart from pivot table? How to place a column side by side instead one under the other? How to place a column side by side? How to place a column side by side? You put it here. Let me do this. Let me remove this. You can drag and drop here also, or remove that. I'll put the brand code here. Right? You want it side by side, you put it here. There. And then you can put the sizes here. And also you can do a thing like this. Let me say large and medium. Sorry, large and Excel I want in one group. So you select Excel, press the control and select large. Press the control and select large. Right click and say group. That's also, there are so many things. You give a name for that, group 1. Right, that's group 1. Group 1, I call it, that's my large group. Large group, I give a name. Right? Then medium and small, select, press the control and select. Right click and I'll say group. Right? What's the name for that? I'll say small group. Something like that, group A, group B. So now it's in 2 different groups. Can you see? So if you want, you can minus this. So it will be group totals now. You can't see this damn thing, no, wait. So there are so you can do protection with this. So many things are there. Only thing you need time. Yeah. This is a large group, small group. So when you expand the large group, you get the large and excel. When you expand the small group, you get the medium and small, or group A group. Like that, you can group anything you want. Okay, even these, if you want all these three, all these two into one group, you select this and this, and right click and say group. So that's called group A. And you can minus this. Then it will be the total of these two. And now group A versus TT. You expand it. Right? Okay. Anything else? Year in one column and month in another column, rather having one under the other. Year in one column and month in another column. How to place a column side by side instead of one under the other. Row label. Year in one column and month in another column. Year in one column and month in another column.
Excuse me, if I elaborate more, if you place two fields in the row space, so it comes one under another. So how to place it, both two fields side by side? Let's say here size 2 and size.
Yeah, let me do
rather than having one under another.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'll do a pivot for this, right? You tell me the fields. You want the year, no? So we'll put the date here, right? You want it side by side?
No, actually, any of two fields, if you can place any of two fields under row.
Any of?
Any two fields under row space. Let's say outlet and the some other item. So it comes under one and under another, right? Candy.
You want it side by side?
Yes, yes.
You go to design, okay, and then go to report layout and say show in tabular form. That's what you want.
Ah, yes. Okay.
And then if you want to repeat this, again go to report layout and say repeat all item labels so that this will come candy, Colombo, like that. Repeat all item labels. Because then you can take this data, you know, copy and paste it as values and then use a pivot table from that data. So that will give you very powerful pivots. You know, from the pivot report, you get this output, use that as your input or as your data for another pivot table. So for that type of thing, you need this, but then don't have the totals. So remove the totals, grand totals, or for rows, subtotals do not show. So only the data is there. Right? Right. Okay. Any more questions? I can wait till 8 o'clock even, no problem. So I hope you learned something. Okay. So there are so many things. I mean, Excel is a vast area. There are about, I think, 600-700 odd formulas. And if you want to study your formulas, I'll tell you, click on formula tab. Okay. Click on formula tab. These are your auto sum, financial ones. If you go to more functions, you get engineering functions. Don't ask me these. Most of these I don't know. If you want to see what this function is, let's say, what is ERF or delta? Click on it and say help on this function. It will give you a detailed help. So everything is categorized logical way and the functions. It will go to Microsoft if you have internet. Delta function in Microsoft Excel. Right? Syntax is what? Delta number 1, number 2. What does it do? Test whether two values are equal. Returns 1 if number 1 and number 2 return 0 otherwise. Use this function to filter a set of values. So there are, I'll tell you, enough of functions. There are a lot of things you can do with this. So study. You all are students. You have time. Our time is over now. So study these things. There are a lot of functions which you can study on your own. Okay. Any more things? Any more questions? And please call me. Right? I know mainly the commercial side of things, but I'll give you another insight. Okay. Go to Google, go to Facebook and type Leila Garani, Excel by Leila Garani. I learned a lot of things by going through that. She explains it in a nice way. I have learned a lot of things. Learning never ends, remember, right? There are so many MVPs who's doing this, but so far what I have found out, she's the best. And you can watch it because she's also pretty, so you can really watch it. And she tells in a nice way. Only thing, she's going a bit fast. Also, you can become members of Excel Guru, Mr. Excel. Like that, there are forums free which you can join and put your question to them. They'll give you the answer. So it's a learning will never end. And one thing, my advice, 60 years experience, don't have any ego to learn. For anything, don't have ego, but especially to learn. Learn from anybody, right? Okay, any more questions? Or we can close it. Just put Leila Gara and you can see a lot of things. And Excel is something that you can't live without knowing. Leila Garani RSQ function in Excel, NPV function, Leila Garani Excel. There you go. Excel productivity for lazy but smart people. 5 Excel functions you need in 2021 and 22. You are doing wrong in Excel. There are so many YouTubes with her. Very interesting. Right. Okay. Anything else? Any questions? Hope you learned something. Right?
Good grammar and spelling are important, but today I'm going to cover important new Excel functions that you need to know in 2021. These
There are so
new
many
functions that were introduced recently in Excel for Microsoft 365, also for Excel for the web. Now, if you have the 365 version of Excel,
right, so that's...
If you write long formulas in Excel, you're going to need...
She comes in different dresses, in different makeups, and anyway, she explains nicely. Okay, so yeah, what's the chat? Such information. Thank you, sir. Okay, you're most welcome. But please keep in touch, right? And I do have public sessions. So if you all can make a group and send me a link, WhatsApp link or whatever, I can when I'm doing a public session, I can invite you all. I can give you a very good rate, maybe 50% discount. Or if you find it difficult, I can give it free even, no problem. Right? So I do Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Outlook is another important thing that you should know, because Outlook, normally people used to send and receive emails, but then we have to, there's a task manager and the calendar, meeting requests, organizing, rules, a lot of things in that. Okay, any more questions? Participants, how many are there now? 40. Yeah. Anything else?
Thank you very much, sir. So it seems like there are no more any questions.
Yeah. What is this? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge and experiences with us. So we are really thankful to you for delivering such an important session today. It's an honor to have you with us on today's webinar. So on behalf of IT on Campus, University of Peradeniya, I sincerely appreciate you for taking out time from your busy schedule to provide us with such valuable information. And now we are going to reveal the challenge. So as I already mentioned, the winner of the challenge will get a chance to participate in a 3-day advanced Excel masterclass course worth 18,000. And now we are going to upload the feedback form to the chat box. This form includes the materials regarding the challenge. So you can get to know the challenge and guidelines through it. We are about to send the submission link to those who are willing to fill the feedback form. So make sure to fill the feedback form while you download the materials. And remember that the submission link will be sent only to those who fill the feedback form. So please submit your submissions on or before 40th of February midnight. And now I invite Ms. Utpala Dasanayaka, the Secretary of the IT on Campus, University of Peradeniya, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Bashini. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our guest speaker, Mr. Asoka Walpitagama, Corporate Trainer, ICT and Soft Skill at iKAD Consultancy and Training, Visiting Lecturer at Kottala Defence University, for his valuable and friendly contribution with Skill Up with Excel event. As an expert who has more than 35 years experience, we are privileged to learn from you. So please accept our token of appreciation for your valuable contribution. Thank you, sir. Then I would like to thank RH Training and Development for their sponsorship for this event. They will be awarded a valuable course to the winner of today's task. And next, I would like to thank Oshadi, Minindu, Dinit, the event coaches of Skill Up with Excel event, and all other my committee members who dedicate with this event. Finally, thank you all who spent your valuable time with us. Hope you in next event.
Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.
Rashmi, you can continue.
Yes, please go ahead. Thank you very much for listening to me also. It's a pleasure to impart my knowledge to, budding engineers like you all. Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have come to the end of today's program. So before leaving, we kindly request you to provide us with your valuable feedback through the provided tick in the chat box. Hope to see you in our upcoming sessions as well. Keep in touch. Until then, good night.
Good night. Good night. Okay.